Glass-reinforced plastic, or GRP, pipes are engineered for durability, but operational reality often intervenes. Normal wear, minor friction, vibrations, or a slight seismic shift can stress the material until it fractures, resulting in pressurized fluid bursting outwards through cracks. Repairing these systems requires a strict, standardized protocol. We are going to walk through the technical steps to triage the damage, prepare the surface, apply temporary seals, and execute a permanent structural repair. Before touching the pipe, site safety is the first priority. The epoxy resins required for these repairs emit toxic fumes, making personal protective equipment like respirators and chemical-resistant gloves mandatory. Next is system isolation. This diagram maps the exact sequence. First, shut off the valves isolating the damaged sector. Second, depressurize the line completely. And third, drain all remaining fluid from the area. Skipping the isolation sequence leads to repair failure. Beyond a poor bond, applying pressure to a compromised, active pipe often triggers a violent blowout inside your workspace. With the line safe and dry, we move to the pipe itself. Data suggests that 90% of repair failures occur because the surface preparation was done incorrectly. Step 1 is chemical cleaning. Solvents like acetone are applied to strip away microscopic oils, grease, and dust that would otherwise prevent the adhesive from bonding to the plastic. Step 2 is thoroughly drying the damaged section. Even trace amounts of moisture left behind will interrupt the chemical curing process of the epoxy. Step 3 is mechanical abrasion, as required by ASTM F2019 standards. A standard glossy GRP pipe cannot hold a patch. You have to grind the area down to a uniformly scuffed matte finish. This diagram shows what we are aiming for, a precise 60-micron surface roughness. This specific depth is necessary because it creates a microscopic grid. The liquid epoxy resin flows into these exact peaks and valleys to lock itself into the pipe wall. Achieving exactly 60 microns of micro-roughness creates the necessary chemical and mechanical bond. Anything smoother, and the patch will likely peel once the system is pressurized. Now we can address the leak. For structural fractures, we need permanent composites, but for minor localized damage like pinholes, rapid temporary holds are the standard way to stop fluid loss immediately. Fast-curing epoxy putty is ideal for microcracks. You knead the 2-part putty by hand until the color is uniform, then press it firmly into the pinhole to block the leak. For small, active emergency leaks, self-vulcanizing tape provides a quick solution. By pulling the material taut and overlapping the layers as you wrap, the tension creates a solid, pressure-tolerant seal. For slightly larger leaks, stainless steel pipe clamps provide a physical stopgap. Placing the clamp over the breach and tightening it down uses direct mechanical compression to hold the pressure. These temporary methods halt fluid loss and reduce operational downtime, but they function as physical bridges. Eventually, you must execute a permanent structural restoration. When the pipe has sustained deep structural composite damage, putty and clamps cannot provide a long-term solution. You have to rebuild the pipe's integrity. Start by applying a thick layer of 2-part structural epoxy resin directly over the deep crack. The exact thickness required depends on the operating pressure rating of your specific pipeline. While the resin is wet, you apply resin-soaked fiberglass repair tape tightly around the pipe. The rule here is a strict 50% overlap, meaning every new rotation of tape must cover exactly half of the previous rotation. You also need a buffer zone. You must extend the wrap exactly 100 to 200 millimeters past the extreme outer edges of the damage to ensure the structural load is distributed safely. To optimize the pipe's tolerance against operational stress, use the switch wrap direction technique. After one full pass, apply the next layer diagonally in the opposite direction to create a dense crisscross reinforcement matrix. This precise geometric layering technique creates a cured composite shell over the fracture. Once hardened, this new section often meets or exceeds the structural strength of the original pipe wall. There's a threshold of damage where patching is no longer viable. When structural integrity is too compromised, physical extraction of the section is mandatory. You measure and drop in a fresh GRP segment to replace the void. This new pipe must be perfectly aligned with the existing line, using mechanical couplers and high-strength adhesive bonding at the connection points. To ensure these connections hold under full system pressure, The newly formed joints must be reinforced using the exact same epoxy and fiberglass wrapping technique covered previously. However, you will sometimes encounter leaks in complex joints, like sharp elbows or flanges, where total disassembly is not an option. This diagram shows a complex flange joint. For these geometries, we use direct epoxy injection. High-pressure tools force liquid resin deep into the crevices of the assembled joint to create a watertight internal seal without taking the pipe apart. Total extraction or specialized epoxy injection removes the element of chance. These methods are necessary when standard surface repairs cannot safely handle the system's mechanical load. The physical repair is complete, but testing the line before the chemical reaction has finished will lead to immediate failure. Temporary epoxy putty hardens quickly, curing in about 5 to 10 minutes. Structural resins, however, require a larger window, ranging from 1 to 24 hours. This chart plots that variance. It shows the relationship between ambient environmental conditions and curing speed. As local temperature and humidity decrease, the curing time required for the structural epoxy increases exponentially. Once the required time has passed, the final validation stage begins. Following AWWA C950 guidelines, you conduct a hydrostatic test using water or a pneumatic test using air to slowly bring the pipe back up to full operating pressure. The indicator of a successful repair is straightforward. You are looking for a gauge reading holding dead steady with 0 pressure drops, alongside 0 visual abnormalities on the surface of the patch under load. A steady pressure reading confirms the transition from a temporary triage hold to a verified multi-decade structural restoration. The patch is stable, and you are clear to safely